Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Before we continue on, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment on all of my videos. That way, I know people are watching, and I also know that people like what I post. Now, today I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the English chat rooms that I've been getting kicked out of recently. See, the goal of what I do is to go ahead and try and educate people on their rights. That way, they can go ahead and stand up to illegal English centers like what I posted in my last video. The problem is the fact that there's a growing number of illegal teachers here in Vietnam that like to go ahead and keep their illegally gotten jobs. And they'll fight and do just about anything to protect their illegally gotten wealth. So I was in the chat rooms. I went ahead and made an argument that the other person could not refute, and I was kicked out of the chat room because of it. See, here's the thing. With what I do, it's like I said, I try and teach people their rights. Now, one of the points that the guy said that I want to refute in front of all of you right now is he said he said that somewhere I said that I hate Vietnam. No, I never said that. Not once. I'm actually one of the only foreigners that actually loves Vietnam more than about 98% of the foreigners that actually call Vietnam home. See, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little story, and I want you all to go ahead and think about this. When I came to Vietnam back in 2018, it was October 29th, I think it was, of 2018, when I actually touched down here in Ho Chi Minh City. Now, I know it wasn't that day, but it was probably within the next week that I actually took my very first trip to the Independence Palace. Now, that trip was super special because I had my wife, then fiance, with me, and we had the audio tour. So this way we could go ahead and listen, at each of the little, number sections, listen as to what happened in that particular room or what went on. I actually learned quite a lot. And it was so breathtaking to me that I actually have went back a few times since then because I love the Independence Palace so much. But see, here's the thing. It wasn't really the visit. It's what happened afterwards that's what's special. See, that night I had a dream, and it was unlike any dream I ever had before. It was like, how do I put this? It was like I was standing on the grounds of the Independence Palace, but it was all black and white, like what you would see for an old fashioned movie. But it was super crystal clear, like, I don't know, like 40, 80, like 8,000, 40 or HD resolution, super crystal clear, just like how you're seeing me right now, essentially. But it was all black and white. But here's the thing, the Independence Palace was completely packed with soldiers, completely packed. But they weren't all North Vietnamese soldiers. No, there was North Vietnamese, South Vietnamese. There's also French, Japanese, American troops. Oh, yeah, there was a lot of people there. And that wasn't the most amazing thing, though. The most amazing thing was the fact that I saw a red carpet, or what I thought was red, because it was all black and white, that led up to the front steps of the Independence Palace. And at the top step of the Independence Palace, behind a podium, Uncle Ho himself. Now, Uncle Ho himself was standing there giving a speech in Vietnamese, obviously, because I couldn't understand it. But he was giving a speech at the top step of the Independence Palace. And the entire ground was packed with soldiers. Now, see, he had a wide array of microphones on the lectern that he was standing at. So that means he was not only speaking to the people, the soldiers that were inside the palace grounds, he was actually speaking probably not only to the entire city of Saigon, then renamed Ho Chi Minh City, but probably also speaking to the entirety of Vietnam and probably the world. Honestly, I don't know. But I know that there was a lot of microphones there and he was giving a great speech. The entire place was silent, completely silent. You could hear a pin drop, it was that silent while Uncle Ho was giving his speech. And then when everything was done, there was complete silence. You couldn't hear anything. But then out of nowhere, people started cheering. Like really happy, really joyful cheering. And I'm talking about North Vietnamese, South Vietnamese, you have Korean fighters, you also have American fighters. You got, all kinds of soldiers packed there, and they are all cheering for Uncle Ho. I don't know what he said, but I know that everybody, all the soldiers there, were cheering for Uncle Ho. Doesn't matter where they came from, they all cheered for Uncle Ho. And that moment has stuck with me for my entire life, since I had that dream. And I can still remember it very clearly to this day. That's the reason why I know it's a true dream, because most dreams you forget about after a while. But this one, you can't forget about that. And after I had that dream, I knew that I meant to be here for some reason. That somehow, some way, I'm meant to be here, and I'm meant to do great things. And reason why I tell everyone this story is because of the fact that I love Vietnam a lot. I love Vietnam. I want to protect Vietnam. I want to continue Uncle Ho's dream of building a strong, prosperous, and unified Vietnam. That's my goal. That's the reason why when I was teaching in the classrooms, I told kids just that. I love Uncle Ho, and I will teach according to Communist Party doctrine. I have no problem with that. I am the one who wants to make Vietnam strong from the inside out. How to do that is simple. Teach teachers their rights. Therefore, when all the illegal centers have shut down and only the legal centers thrive, then you're going to see the quality of education, especially in English, go up. And when the education goes up, so too do the grades of the students. Because the level of education, the level of English goes up, that means also that the level of education they receive also goes up too. That's what I'm trying to say. Because when you go ahead and give kids a proper education, you have kids actually learning, doing what they're supposed to do, then those kids will become the next great Vietnamese leaders in the future. The way things stand right now, that's not going to happen because of AutoPass. Just like I went ahead and put in one of my shorts, the fact that I was forced to pass kids who would not have normally passed if they were given a legitimate test. Now, see, I know for a fact that there are at least 2 centers here in Ho Chi Minh City, the ones that I've worked for very recently, that also will pass students that should not have passed in the first place. That's the reason why I said say no to guaranteed IELTS scores, because those IELTS centers, all they want is your money. You don't know if your kid's actually learning English or not. You don't know what the level of your kid's English education is. All you know is that you're paying an exorbitant amount of money to some center that's going to promise your kid an English score. And yeah, your kid gets that English score, but what if your kid actually can't speak English? Then what? You see what I mean? I've actually talked to college students, TAs that can't speak English, even though English is a requirement in order to go to college. That's the reason why I said say no to AutoPass. If your kid doesn't pass, your kid doesn't pass. This will push your kid to do better. You see what I mean? Instead of getting handouts for speaking bad English, your kids will get a reward for speaking better English in the form of better wages, better employment. Because if you can speak English and you can do it well, you can go ahead and get a great paying job here in Vietnam as a local citizen. But if your level of English is poor, just like 99% of the kids that I've ever taught, that you're not going to be able to go ahead and achieve much, if anything. Now, here's the thing. I will go ahead and say that not all schools are bad and not all kids are bad. I'll say that too, because my very last English teaching assignment, I actually had a class at one school and 2 classes at another school that were actually perfect. And yes, I gave this symbol. No, it's not white supremacy. This is the OK symbol. All right? So no, don't accuse me of white supremacy either. That's not going to work. This is the OK symbol. That's what it means. It's not white supremacy. I threw that bit in there for our US audience. So we're going to go ahead and move on. But what I'm trying to say is the fact that, like I said, if you teach kids properly, that'll actually inspire them to do better. If all you do is play games, kids aren't going to learn anything. Now, Facebook And a lot of the teacher groups, like I said, are trying to censor what I'm doing. Why? Is because of the fact that those centers are trying to protect their illegally gotten gains. That's the reason why they don't want me to go ahead and make these videos. They don't want people to know about these videos. You see what I mean? The more English teachers that wake up, the more English teachers that demand what's theirs under the law, the more English teachers that refuse to work for illegitimate centers, then the illegal centers are going to shut down. These illegal, illegitimate centers that operate with impunity are not a part of Uncle Ho's dream at all. They're not a part of Uncle Ho's dream. How can I say that? That's very simple. Because of the fact that I did have a true dream about Uncle Ho, but also because of the fact I'm reminded of a song called Giải phóng miền Nam, Liberate the South. In it, the Viet Cong, the liberators, they warned about country sellers to destroy the American imperialists and the country sellers. Well, I will make the argument to you right here, right now, that all illegal English centers within Vietnam are country sellers because they are selling out Vietnam's future. How? That's simple. They provide low quality of English instruction. They take in way too much money. They also employ teachers that shouldn't be in the country in the first place. That's the reason why I say that they are country sellers, because they're trying to rake in cash and put out the lowest quality English possible. That's the reason why illegal centers should be shut down. They are not a part of Uncle Ho's dream. They should be shut down. Now, I'm going to go ahead and continue to talk for a few minutes. We're already about 12 minutes into this video. That's awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and say this. Now, as far as getting rid of AutoPass, it's not going to be easy, because the fact that all schools care about are 10 scores. That's it. All they care about are having perfect 10 scores for their kids in the public schools in the classrooms, even though the kids were behaving not like a 10, more like a 2 or a 3, but they still want 10 only, because that means that they're in the running for best classroom. Now, I was told specifically that on a 10 score, I'm not allowed to give below an 8. Yeah, I'm not allowed to give below an 8. No matter how badly the classroom was doing, I'm not allowed to give below an 8. Water break. All right. Now, if you hear any crying in the background, that's my daughter. Let's go ahead and move on. All right. So, the other thing is the fact that, how do I put this? What was I talking about earlier? All right. Here's the thing. See, the reason why I make these videos, the reason why I do what I do, it's not to try and make people angry. It's not to try to go ahead and antagonize people. See, when I came to Vietnam back in 2018 and subsequently got my teacher's license and started teaching in 2019, I didn't know all the things I knew now. If I had known then what I knew today, things would have been a lot different. A lot different. But because I didn't know any better, that's the reason why all that stuff happened for as many years as it did. Now, earlier I was talking about how Facebook and some teacher groups are trying to censor me because they're more concerned about getting illegal jobs than they are about learning their rights. Well, that's them. I know out there that so far, even though I released a message earlier that said 39 members, I actually only have about 14. But I do know the fact that more and more people will join my cause. It is my hope to exceed 1 million subscribers, because of the fact that I feel that my message is that important, that all the teachers, everyone who's even thinking of coming to Vietnam to teach, should go ahead and watch my videos. Now, yeah, like I said, a lot of English centers, they're not going to like me. I don't care. There's a lot of English teachers that don't like me. I don't care. This isn't some kind of popularity contest. I'm trying to protect legitimate English centers that continue Uncle Ho's dream. That's what I'm trying to do. Now, For all the illegal English centers and all the illegal teachers in Vietnam, I want you to pay very, very close attention to what I'm going to say next. We will find you. It may take a while, but we will find you. And when we do, it's going to go ahead and go down like this. 1, we're going to find the illegal English centers. 2, we're going to find out if you have illegal teachers inside of your illegal center, which more than likely you do. 3, we're going to go ahead and make complaints to the proper authorities. Another water break. 4, after we report you to the proper authorities, then you're going to be under investigation. And then for all the illegal teachers out there, like non-native speakers without IELTS, TOEIC, or TOEFL, teachers without work permits, teachers without TRC cards. If you're missing any kind of paperwork, you're basically an illegal teacher. See, here's the thing. If you're working illegally, you need to leave as soon as possible. If you don't, you're going to get caught. You're going to go to jail. Then after you serve your jail sentence, which is about 2 or 3 years, then you get kicked out of the country with a do not return order attached. Please, please, please consider working legally. Excuse me. If you want to consider working legally, you still have to leave Vietnam anyways. Because if you're caught working illegally, like I said, you're going to go to jail, serve a 2 or 3 year jail sentence, then you get kicked out of Vietnam with a do not return order attached because you are working illegally. Now, earlier in the other videos, I list what the requirements are to teach English here in Vietnam, so I really don't feel the need to go ahead and list it again. But again, if you're missing any paperwork, you need to leave and go home before you get caught. Because you get caught, you're going to go to jail, you get kicked out, you get that do not return order. You can't come back to Vietnam anyways. Now, here's the thing. Why does none of this apply to me? That's very simple. I can tell you why it doesn't apply to me. 1, I'm married. My wife's Vietnamese, and I get a 3-year TT dependent type TRC card. Now, because I'm independent, I don't need a work permit. And I don't need one anyways because I'm married to my wife, and I already proved that under the Labor Code series. And also the fact that with me being independent, that means I can do a lot more than if I were under an employer. See, with me, I can go ahead and wear what I want. And as long as I don't utter any profanity or directly give people's personal information over YouTube or something like that, nothing can be done. Now, yeah, I have my haters, and I have people that like me. That's par for the course. Whether you love me or you hate me, at least you're talking about me, and that's the main thing. Now, for anyone out there, for any illegal teacher, any illegal center that wishes to visit violence upon me for making these videos, the only thing I can tell you is this. If you're not man enough to talk to me directly, then you have no business saying anything. Because of the fact that if you're not willing to confront me directly in person, then being a keyboard warrior on Facebook isn't really going to do anything. Now, just like in the previous video, if you make threats against me, I will report you. That's the difference between me and other foreigners. I actually will report you. And they actually take criminal threats here in Vietnam very seriously, especially when it's against a foreigner. Yeah. So don't do anything stupid. If you don't like my videos, you don't like my videos. But don't say something that you're going to end up regretting later. Now, I'm already at just about the 20-minute mark, which I don't know if they're going to cut me off the 30-minute mark or not. I don't even want to go ahead and go that far. So, here's the thing. If you like my videos, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment. And if you have a few extra dong laying around that you don't need anymore, please send it to me. I need donations of cash or goods and services to go ahead and keep my channel running. And if you want to donate, no matter what it may be, you can go ahead and send me an email to tuxedoshadow@gmail.com. You can go ahead and also use that email for Google Chat and send me a chat request, and I'll tell you exactly what you can do. If you want to go ahead and donate cash inside of Vietnam, I can go ahead and accept direct bank transfer or actual cash. You want me to meet up with you, you want to give me some cash, that's cool too. Now, the other option is international bank transfer if you live outside of Vietnam. But with the bank transfer inside of Vietnam, it can be 10,000 dong is the minimum amount. The maximum amount is whatever you want to send me. Now, if you're outside of Vietnam, then I suggest that you send me at least 100, 200 USD or higher, because of the fact that there is a steep fee to transfer money internationally using the SWIFT system. The other option is that if you don't want to pay those high fees and you still want to send me some cash for doing a good job on YouTube, you can also go ahead and use Western Union and MoneyGram. Now, Western Union and MoneyGram are money orders. So in America at Walmart, they use MoneyGram. So if you want to send me some cash, go to Walmart, go to MoneyGram, and put down however much you want to send me. Now, the reason why I keep asking for donations a lot is because of the post that you saw earlier. I have no money in my wallet, no money in my bank account. I have nothing. That's the reason why I am politely requesting that people donate to me so that I can generate at least a little revenue to tide myself over until I hit 1,000 plus subs. Then I can start getting that advertising revenue. But until then, I need cash. I need goods. I need services to go ahead and help keep this channel running. If you want to sponsor an episode, let me know, and we'll go ahead and make a good deal. This is Yun Li Han, and I'm going to go ahead and say, have a good day, be safe, and I'll see you again soon.